We actually met in a homebrew club here in San Francisco. I was trying to figure out who it was in the homebrew club that I needed to sort of pair up with in order to really hone some of my own brewing skills.
We knew right from the get-go that we wanted to collaborate on some sort of fun, creative, beer-centric idea. It went from everything from a homebrew shop to opening a bar to a cafe to a restaurant. And ultimately we decided that what we really wanted to do and what we were really passionate about was make beer.
We sort of settled on we wanted to start a brewery, and we really were focused on sort of what was our hook, what was our angle, what would make our brewery really different and stand apart. And that's how we landed on our first beer, which is a Belgian strong golden with 260 pounds of blackberries from Sebastopol Berry Farm up in wine country. So the idea was, what could we contribute, what could we do to create something new that was really inspired by these food and beer communities in San Francisco that we love so much. And it's one of those things where as soon as this idea of farm-to-barrel brewing, where we take classic beer recipes and integrate them with seasonal produce from these same farms that work with these restaurants, it's one of those things where as soon as you say it out loud, it felt like it was obvious that it should have existed before. We almost immediately started brewing some beers together, some test batches up, and figuring out, exactly what direction we wanted to take the actual liquid in the bottle, now that we had sort of an angle and a theme that we were building off of. So we start with a base beer, a classic Belgian triple, really a bright, really dry, straw-colored ale. We take that, we add a lot of American hops, up the bitterness and a lot of hop aroma on there, lots of citrus and pine notes from the hops. And then we take that and we dump the entire thing into used red wine barrels along with the blackberries. And we add the blackberries with the still active yeast in there so that that yeast will eat the sugar in the blackberries and leave behind some of the sort of mineral and tannic and a little bit of astringent character from those berries. And that combines with the barrel to give the beer a lot more complexity and depth and nuance. And the goal isn't to create a fruit beer, it's to create something that's dry and bright and acidic and really food friendly, but has sort of the essence and flavors and shadows of all of this complex process and all the things that went into it. I think we bring a real homebrewer naivete to our approach to beer making, where we bring a real sense of experimentalism with the beers to introduce different processes and to try things and see what happens. So the way we're producing our beer is we're doing what's called partner brewing. So that means instead of us having our own brewery, we basically sublet time at a brewery. They take our recipe, which is in 5 gallons, and scale it up, and we rely on some of their expertise because being a brewmaster is a real craft.
They have the sort of same basic underlying methodology, but you really have to be both a technician and an artist to sort of know your way around a professional brew system.
But we're still home brewing, creating, figuring out exactly what flavors we want and what the process is to achieve that.
One of the appeals for both of us in sort of doing this was, how can we bring an aspect of work into our lives that we're actually really passionate about? Trying to capitalize on that sort of almost mythical notion that you can enjoy what you do for work. As much as it has been a lot of work, knowing that it's really in pursuit of a dream and a passion makes it more exciting and more interesting and more rewarding than just about any day in the office.